back to the topic. Wow, dusty. Episode number, counting them up, 8, which is cinco in Portuguese. I've done that joke already. I've done that one. I'm slacking. I'm slacking. Lockdown.
You're always slacking.
Isn't it Ocho?
All right, bruv. So,
yeah.
on my left, we switched it up this time, like we did in the studio, is Dave, aka Heavy D, aka Mr. Looks like he's been stuck in a basement. Is that a basement? AKA we all get tripped because that hairline's looking mad. Bottom left corner is Sweat, aka Gavin, aka Wasabi Donut, aka Well Done Steak, aka I can't pull it that finger, aka yeah, you see, I've said
you heard, yeah.
Don't worry, I'm learning. Below me is T, aka the voice of reason, aka his hairline's worse than mine, but you won't be able to see it until we hit a certain amount of followers.
And it's worse than mine, man.
Yeah, no, it is, yeah.
No, we're not going to deal with that. That's fine.
No. Do you know what? What you promise it? Like, it gets to a point in life where your hairline just goes. What can you do about it?
Yeah, but the thing is, if I
would want to paint a picture for the audience what you look like.
Paint the picture, but let's throw this in there. If I cared, my hairline would be better than both of yours.
Can we just touch on
how often do you two get shape ups?
Well, what in these quarantine times or in normal life?
In normal life.
Once every 2 weeks.
Exactly. Yeah. See, and there's still that buki for you two.
What are you doing here, bro? You woke up and chose violence today, yeah?
I don't get shape ups, and that's why mine looks this way, because I braid it.
Can we just touch on last week?
Best thing to do is fade it.
Go on, Gav.
How Ayo was calling me Vegeta and McDonald's hairline, bro. Can we touch on that? Like, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. The way that hit me, I was just there thinking, I gotta wear a hat this week, bro.
You know what it is? You know what it is? I don't get many digs in, so I've got to get my digs in where I can, and that's at the beginning.
Yeah.
We had to endure I had to endure 45 minutes of you man getting onto me. So
whoa. This is a happy place.
Yeah, I'm happy.
This is a happy place. This is a safe space.
It's a safe space. That's also on the internet for everyone to see. And if you ever, anyway, bro. Hopefully everyone's good. Hopefully lockdown's treating you somewhat.
These are grown men hairline. I just want to say that as well.
Sorry?
These are grown men's hairlines, though. They're not bad hairlines. They're just grown men's hairlines. I'm with you.
Do you know what? That's a great segue. We go through stuff with people, yeah. Men, women, children. Nah, children not so much. Men, women, anything in between, yeah. But do we glorify the struggle too much? Is there beauty in the struggle, or do we just think, we got to go through some stuff to make sure that life is actually worth living? Because, in my opinion, I'd probably say no. So today's topic is, as I just said, do we glorify the struggle too much? Mandem, what do we think?
Where we starting?
You start, bro. Go on. You say it first. You can start.
Do you know what? Yeah, I thought about this, and do you know I've also thought about. I always start my points with. I thought about this. This is that. I need to stop doing that. But
have you just realized that now as you're talking?
I really I thought about this, and then I look away. No, this time let's refresh. Ask the question again.
Okay, sorry. Well, hey Dave, do we glorify the struggle too much?
Yes.
Yes.
No, I'm panicked. No, the answer no. It's because yeah, we don't glorify it because I feel like if you don't have an element of struggle, do you ever know how to progress forward? If that makes sense, because struggle is supposed to be your lowest point, and that means you're building to a higher point. If you say there's never a struggle, there's no struggle and there's nothing. All right, cool. You're happy with being wherever you are, which quote unquote could be mediocre.
But and I agree with you, but to counteract that point, is there anything wrong with mediocre? Generally,
if that's what you're happy with.
Exactly.
I can't be mediocre. I always have to try and be the best in whatever area I'm trying to be in, basically.
That's not struggle, though.
Exactly.
That's just progression. I would take it a step further and say, does someone's success lack validity if you feel like they didn't struggle for it? Because that's where struggle is glorified, I think.
So to add to that point as well, I think about when we speak about struggle and stuff, I think about rappers like Jay-Z's one of my favorite rappers of all time. Yeah, I think he's amazing. Obviously, what he's done for hip hop and outside of hip hop and everything else is amazing. But the narrative is man came from Brooklyn, lived in a flat with his family of like his mum and his brothers. His dad left, which is another narrative that happens all the time around. It's not a narrative; it's a real life thing for people. And then he became the rapper that he is today through selling drugs, going to prison.
Yeah, but then I don't know, with rappers it's different because I feel like that's looked at as a right passage kind of thing. Like, if you don't do it that way, people are you're not authentic. Like there's 100% rappers that haven't done half the stuff they've said, but if they don't say they've done that, people will be like, you're a 6ix9ine, or you're someone that has like not come up through like the ranks. You've just kind of been placed on a pedestal kind of vibe. Like all these like kids, like P Diddy's son and stuff, they can never talk about any struggle because we've seen you since you're a kid. You can't say that now you come from Brooklyn.
Jaden Smith can't be talking about
You know what I mean? Why if he comes out of a song later on saying my dad was beating me when I was a kid, we'll be like, shut up. We saw you a Grammy at age 5. Do you know what I mean?
It's true. Yeah, Karate Kid. Didn't win a Grammy for that, I don't think.
No.
No.
You can't win a Grammy for a film, first and foremost. But.
I said Blue Ivy. Blue Ivy won a Grammy for. Oh no, she did for Black Skin Girl. What's it called? Black Skin Girl, Brown Skin. What's Brown Skin Girl?
I don't know.
I
don't pay attention.
She won something. She's won something.
But the thing is, that thinking does feed into communities, though, doesn't it? It's not isolated to just the rappers. Like that feeds into how people think in day-to-day life. That if you haven't had to quote unquote grind for something, then your success is not as valid as the person that did have to do XYZ thing to get there.
So I think that's a valid point, yeah. And I use rappers because that was something that obviously I listen to a lot of music and you listen to a lot of music. So
I think he's a drug dealer, that's why. I thinks he's a Mob Deep.
Yeah. No.
I like this thing.
Just to add on, and I think when you don't have something to compare your failures to, or glorify your lowest point to, you don't really have a high point to compare it to, if that makes sense. So you have nothing to contrast, because when some people say, I've hit rock bottom, they don't know what rock bottom is until they've been there, if that makes sense. So you need to be able to have some kind of pedestal to aim for. That's just where I think I sit on the fence.
Is rock bottom relative though?
So I was going to say that to you actually.
Go ahead.
Does rock bottom change for people? Because you can hit rock bottom, but then say you hit rock bottom again. Is that the same rock bottom, or do we go lower, or is it a different?
You can't hit rock bottom. You can say it, but you don't know what your true rock bottom is until it's too late. Do you know what I mean? Like it's when you die, you can be like, that was my rock bottom, because that's where everything changed. But you won't know that until you get to the end. So like you could ask me at 8, like when I was 16 or 17, what was rock bottom? I didn't get picked for the school football team. That's it. That's when I thought it was. Whereas now I'm kind of like, I didn't care. That wasn't rock bottom for me. Something else will be rock bottom for me now. And I'm sure in 10, 20 years, I could say something else was rock bottom for me then. So like,
but the thing is though,
is rock bottom relative though? Because what you said right, but it's relative. Because at the time, same as you, bruv, like even going back to GCSE results, let's say, or A-level, I did right GCSEs, A-level results, I didn't do as well as I should have. So rock bottom for me was getting BBC. No, I should have got ABB. Or AB actually.
Did you get BBC though? Isn't that's genuine?
No. Yeah, you're right. I got BBC U. I got U in Italian.
That's okay.
Yeah, I want to get back.
You.
But for lack of trying, not because he like was rubbish, because he just didn't.
No, stop defending him, man.
He's right.
You got to tell the full story.
He's half right. I was good at languages up until it became assessed. So in the classroom, I don't know what your teachers were like. they'd sing songs out and you'd be like, yeah, this is fun, ha ha. And then when it gets to A levels, you're like, big man, you're asking me how to find a bank and I've got 7 kids. I don't know how to say that. Like, what does that mean to me? Yeah, I got you. Thank you for writing about that.
In what language?
Italian. Which is why my concept of numbers is terrible.
What made you choose Italian? Just out of curiosity.
That's a good point, actually. Do you know what it is? I always my teacher back in Italian day, back in like year 9, 10. Shout out Miss Kavanagh if you know about her. She was the best, yeah. Just the most. Like you would turn up being vexed from maths because you just got like a C in your exam or whatever, and then she would play music. She put on films, like everything to make the lesson as interactive as you can. She would do it, and then she'd make every lesson was 50 minutes, and it feel like 10 just because you're having so much fun. So it was between that and French. French, I found, if I'm being honest, I found French a lot easier than Italian. So I tried to push myself to get Italian, and then did all right GCSE, but A level was a different story because we had a new teacher. So I used to bunk lessons and hide in toilet. Yeah. Anyway, back to the topic. It's one of those things. Like it's relative, isn't it? So,
but I would ask even further than that. Is it surely not relative to different people? Because for someone might get to 25, 28, 30, and actually the rock bottom might be that they got left off the football team. Does that make their success any less credible? Just because their dip isn't as low as someone else's dip.
If we're using the football example as well, I've been watching a lot of podcasts over lockdowns, especially this one. I've been watching On the Judy, Halfcast, like a few others as well. And every footballer seems to have the same story not the same story, but mostly the same story that at some point in their career, similar to Michael Jordan as well, that everyone uses, there was a point at which they got released or they got cut. They were too small, too short, too fat. Like there is a recurring trend that validates your later experience. So like the rappers, like, I had to go through struggle. My teacher said I never beat whatever. Like, is every teacher saying that? Because if everyone's saying that, they might have some sort of validity in this because if you have to teach a day and 8 of them are saying you're never going to amount to nothing, but now you're rapping about drugs and violence.
But this goes back to it's saying that like if you don't have a story and you get to like a high point, you feel like it's been an easy. Do you know what, like you feel like you've had an easy run? Yeah. And then people on the back of that judge you for it. Like,
right, exactly.
Even in rugby, right? Everyone that plays for England, there's a stigma behind it saying, they all went to private school, they all did this.
Exactly.
And I'm kind of like, I hear you, but like there's players like Itoje and Sinclair who didn't. Yeah, they did get like to private school, but they did it on a scholarship. Like they did it because they were good at sport. They wouldn't have just got there.
Exactly.
So you kind of have to look at it in different ways because otherwise you're just going to say, everyone is to have a story, and if you don't have a story, you're useless, basically. Yeah,
and I think that's a humongous issue. I think that I think probably from our dad, our dad very much thinks this way of like, regardless of like however you get to a position, you still have to make good of the opportunity in front of you. So it actually doesn't matter if someone gave you a handout here or if someone helped you here. When it still comes down to it, you're the one that has to make good on that. So for someone else to say that your success in a situation is less valid or whatever because you got help here or you didn't have to struggle for that, that's stupid. That's mad cancerous. Like, what? So I shouldn't take advantage of the opportunities that I have to make some story seem right or like to justify something or that show out I struggled. That's stupid. That doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't think you're wrong. I think, I don't know though, like sometimes I remember being younger and I don't know how you man were, like obviously when I was like 20, 21, 22, like I was struggling just because I would refuse to tell people stuff. Like I would just bottle stuff up, and rather than me sharing my problems, not even problems, but just life experiences, I would just keep it to myself and then go about my whatever. Like, and I think partly was the thinking was like, I need this it's character building. We always say that, like everyone in the group, we always say that. It's character building, these bad things. When you catch L's, it's character building, but a lot of those L's were self-inflicted. If I just said to someone, big man, like, borrow me like £400 for now, and I'll pay you back when I can.
Yeah.
Easy problem gone. But instead of that, I've done.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, no, of course, at that time it was.
Now it's fucking though, isn't it? Big money anyway. Now it's just
400 change for
£400 to spend in bonsai.
Yeah, exactly. I needed £400 for bonsai Thursdays, bro. Give me some bottles and some sparklers, bro. I need that money.
Bottle on the table.
What would you would you say it was then that was stopping you from asking people?
But pride, yeah, 100%. Pride and insecurity. The insecurity, and I think we mentioned this in like episode 2 or 3, but insecurity of having people judge me for not being in the same position as them. Like, as I've said before, like the boys I live with for most of uni, top like best friends of my life, yeah, because we all came from different areas. Sorry?
Stop putting disclaimers before you speak about them.
No.
I love them to the bottom of my heart. However,
He was about to send some shots.
You know what? They all listen to the podcast, and they always like they're like, bruv, you're not like this in real life. Like, why are you being so like? If you see our group chat every day, like, don't even worry about that. So I'm being nice to them now. It's not a disclaimer, just to be nice to them. But we all came from different parts of the world, or say, like we're not some international stars or whatever, but we all came from different parts of England or whatever, and we all had a common thing of just being normal people. I don't remember my point now, but we all kind of struggled together and got through uni together. Like two of the boys went to uni together on the same course, so they would drag each other out of bed. Other two, like me and another one of my friends, would go play football together, try and get better and stuff. Like another two will go gym, or 3 will go gym together. People cook together, so there was always that united struggle, you know. Whereas my struggle became a bit different when I was just resitting years of uni because I was just being lazy. Rather than me pulling my finger out and doing work, I was just there drinking on Thursdays, as Gav said, or drinking on Wednesdays with Dave. Or
don't blame me. I finished when I finished. I left you there, and I only came back years after. You're still there.
No, because you were there with me too. 5 years.
That's what I'm saying. Me and you were doing it.
I was gonna say because I was thinking you're about to call me out. And I'm not having no one bully me no more.
You were there for 5 years as well.
Not 5. 4. Huh? No, 5. 5. I thought I had a place with you.
I don't want to leave, bro. I left and I thought, why are you guys there?
Amazing.
You graduated. We were like, nah, bro, we're still hearing it.
Wow.
We love Bournemouth so much, bro. We have to
stay. Interesting. Well, I go on.
All I was going to say is because to add to the point I've made, my struggle didn't align with their struggles. These men are all finishing uni, going off, and then obviously Gav knew, Street knew, T, I think you knew as well. Maybe a few other people knew, like 5 people, compared to like my big group of like 20 friends I had.
Yeah.
So I felt embarrassed, and I felt like my pride would take a hit because these men would look at me and be like, hold on, he's quite a high functioning guy. How can he not pass a simple uni year, like first year? Do you know what I mean? How are you not passing that? So that's where my struggle came from, which is self-inflicted. So then the question then becomes like, I've glorified it in my head because I'm thinking, and I genuinely used to think that I never told anyone this, but I would sit in my room sometimes, be like, you know what? In 5 years' time, so actually, funny enough, probably this year or next year, I'd be sitting there like looking at my bank account, nice car, nice house. I've made it, bro. And look where I came from. I'm still here in my parents' house, bro. Like these things happen, you know. But you have to openly talk about it, you know. It's just it is what it is. Like,
True.
So glorifying the struggle. Where did that get me? Nowhere.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
So that reminds me of this might not answer the question directly, but it's an interesting like component to the question. I remember watching an interview with Lupe Fiasco years ago, and he said, "Say again."
Hold tight to him, bro.
And the man, he
Lupe.
said, he was saying about how much people love the struggle, right? And he said, "Would you, if these are 2 scenarios you could have," and then he left it to the audience to pick, and everyone picked the struggle thing, right? He said, if you could remove the struggle that African Americans had, which were all key components in creating hip hop, so the projects, the drug dealing, the single parent homes, all this kind of thing. If you could remove all of those things, but you also remove hip hop, would you do that? Or you'd keep the struggle in hip hop? And all the people that called and said they keep the struggle in hip hop.
Yeah.
And I kind of said about like, surely you'd rather have a good society than like hip hop, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's something really interesting there where it's like the struggle. Go on, Dave.
See, do you reckon that's because they want to feel relatable to said artists? Like, I feel like if they said that, there was no struggle and they were just good at what they did, they wanted to make music done, they would never relate to, let's say, a 12-year-old whose mum can't even get him the right pair of shoes. They get him like 2 sizes too big, and it'd be like, do you know what I mean? Like, they can't relate to that said person. But then,
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why. I think it's something about pride, like A was saying, where it's like there's something really self-effacing about being able to say, I came from this and look where I am.
Yeah.
Right. And the worry that that's how a group of people think makes you go, oh well, if I'm middle class and not working class, is my story as celebrated in my circle or community? And I think that's enough of a fear for people to go, nah, let me figure out where my struggle points are. And actually, in trying to figure out your struggle points, are you taking away from the success you can have because you're so focused on this, that, and the third thing?
Being relatable and
exactly.
Experience. Yeah.
Right.
It's mad because, and I don't know what you man think about this, but I don't think we struggle, honestly. Like us, man, in our positions.
In comparison.
Yeah, exactly. I'll let you go, but I was actually going to ask you as well, because we're all, first or second generation African or Jamaican, or Afro-Caribbeans, let's say. Like, compare our struggle to our parents' struggle to their parents' struggle. Obviously, struggle is not comparative, it's not linear. You can't, like...
You can't directly compare.
Yeah, and not to be, I don't want to be stereotypical, but walking to the well for 10 miles, as my mum would like to say that she used to do, her whole-time mum, is not comparable to me not being able to get a pair of trainers in my size, you know what I'm saying? But the struggle is still there. But I don't know. I don't think our struggle is, I don't think we even have struggle. I think we're kind of privileged, if any, in some aspects, you know? But yeah, sorry, go on, Gary, what were you going to say?
When I speak to my cousins back in Jamaica, obviously their struggles are completely different from mine because they're talking about the guns and the knives that are around their friend and their social group. People are getting shot and stuff like that. The things that they see. And when I look at my struggles here, I don't see that many people getting shot and killed as often in comparison to what they're seeing in Jamaica, because it's on their doorstep. Whereas killing and shooting and stabbing over in here in the UK is not as bad as it is in Jamaica, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's true.
So their kind of lifestyle and their upbringing, I feel a lot more privileged than them because I've been given an opportunity, even though I haven't grasped it and taken it in the sense of what my parents expected. Obviously, in first year of uni wasn't the greatest opportunity, but now I look at where I want to be in terms of my life and glorifying my success and put it on a pedestal. I think this is an opportunity to take it to the next level. So to answer your first question, do we glorify struggle? I think some people will glorify their struggle, but it's marginally different from who you are and what you class as success as well. But for me personally, my success is being happy with a family and having, let's say, financial stability. That's what I class as successful for my life. So be able to answer that question and say, I'm financially stable, I have a family that I'm providing for, that's what I class as my success, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And when I reach that stage, I can look back and I'll I'll say to myself, you know what? I've actually done this, and this was my low point, if that makes sense.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I kept myself quiet, waiting for the right time to just drop some nuclear weapon.
I've got a grenade here, but I'm gonna hold it.
Wait. Oh. Knock out the park. No, do you know what? I couldn't have put any better myself. I don't think, because that was going to be my next question. Like, do we my question was going to be, would you let your kids live the same struggle as you?
No.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So I'll give you a scenario. And I was a weird kid, by the way, just to preface it.
No, really?
We're teenagers as well.
I'm
weird adult too.
Now I used to be weird. Anyway, my question was going to be, I was thinking about it all the time. I was like, hold on. Have you ever seen Richie Rich?
Who?
Richie Rich with Macaulay Culkin. Okay, it don't matter. Anyway, he's a rich kid, then he loses money, then he becomes poor, then he has to work his way back up to being rich, or someone finds him. Long story. But basically, my thing is, as a kid, and this is my scenario to you guys, if you found out one day, that your parents were actually multi-millionaires, but they lived this life, teach you lessons of life lessons, would you be thankful, or would you be like, nah, bruv, that's not on?
I'd be so thankful because I'd be like, can you help me clear my overdraft real quick? Could you pay off the car?
No, honestly, there was a time, I think I must have been like 15, like maybe even 13, 14. And I actually thought, I was like, maybe this is all just like they're just trying to teach me.
Wow.
You know? In my head, I was like, I'm gonna get to 18 and money just gonna drop into my account. And I'll be like,
that's what I thought.
I was legit, like money will drop from somewhere, and I'll be like, sick. Right now, I can go and do what I want to do. But till then, I'll live this struggle lifestyle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll play along. It's fine. And then the money never came. They're like, hold on.
I said, you're going Bournemouth, all right, cool.
Hold tight, you. Student loans got you.
I'll pick me up now. Ha, the joke's over.
When do I get a joke? When did someone just hand me something? You know?
Exactly. What about you? What do you reckon? Would you have? What would you do
100%.
if your parents turned around next year? Oh no, in 2 years' time, and said to you, "Okay, look, I know you're probably not going to like me for this, but this is what happened. We're actually multimillionaires. We've got plentiful properties back in yard or back home. We've got loads of money, but we wanted you to live to a certain point to see where you get. Here's some money.
Wow,
well done."
I'm on swingers.
Would you
I'm on swingers. No, I'm joking, but obviously there have to be a level to it, bro. Because if they've been watching me struggle for a long time, and they're gonna let me like, and they're just gonna be there smiling, thinking he's learning his lesson. He's learning his lesson.
Now, if you were to get that money, let's say tomorrow, you get the money tomorrow, you wouldn't be the same person you are now.
Of course.
Then if
I wouldn't appreciate it.
Why? What? As if you got it from like birth.
Oh, sorry, I didn't let you finish. I thought you were going to say you wouldn't be the same person you are from this point.
No. I'm saying if he got the money now, he would be the same person because he's learned everything that he's learned. But he would, if you got it from birth, I don't think he would be the exact same. Like he wouldn't be in the same situations. Do you know what I mean?
Like obviously, go on. Go ahead. Sorry.
I had nothing else to say, to be honest.
No, I think obviously our principles, our values, and all of our our core sentiments have all changed because of the journey we've been through in life, and we understand and appreciate money a lot more now. So, to answer your question, obviously, if our parents put us through this just to make us struggle, it makes us appreciate money a lot more. Because me personally, my first year, I finished overdraft in the space of 2 weeks or 3 weeks. That's what an overdraft was. What?
So, but this is the thing that makes a very good point. I don't think you do learn to appreciate money by not having money, because once you get the overdraft, you blow it.
I appreciate money much more now than I did before I was paying bills. Because now I know that if I don't pay bills, or if something goes wrong, I understand the consequences. If I always had money and that was never a problem for me, I was kind of like, I would be like, all right, well, you know, I might miss a payment. Don't worry, I'll pay off the fine. Do you know, like it would feel as hard. Like I said, babies will come to your door, whatever.
I understand that in the sense of it being disposable if you grow up with that kind of thing. But when it comes to like money, like handling of money and practice with money, that's something that could be taught with or without money, right? And the fact that all of us would say as soon as we got an overdraft, we blew the overdraft, or three of us. So I don't know if Dave would say it or not, but
blew my overdraft.
three of us would say, as soon as you got the overdraft, you blew the overdraft. Doesn't suggest that growing up for 18 years in a struggle teaches you how to spend money or teaches you value for money. Because as soon as you got the money, you blew it. That's why when you see a lot of these people that come with the struggle thing, as soon as they get some money, they go buy all this expensive stuff they don't need. I don't think a struggle necessarily teaches you how to handle money. Parents need to be teaching kids how to steward the 2 pennies they have.
I completely, I agree with that. I think obviously if my mom had taught me, or if my family had taught me about credit score and how important credit score was, I think I would have been in a better position. I wouldn't be leaving things to the last minute to pay it off and stuff like that. And my credit score wouldn't have been bad. It's only 2 years ago I started looking at my credit score and thinking, you know what, let's get it to a decent point to get a mortgage or anything like that.
Blame your parents for that, because they probably, as much as like, I always said, like, they're first gen, so they wouldn't have known about that. They wouldn't have known that if you take out a credit card, it may actually be a good thing. Like, you don't find out until like somebody says that to you and says, listen, as long as you got a credit card and you can pay it off, it's a good thing. If you can't, then don't get it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
I was taught
I didn't know that.
You were taught that way?
Huh?
You were taught that way?
Yeah, Dad taught me that.
See,
I wasn't taught that. We had the same dad.
He looked at Io and he said, "You know what?"
He said,
"You're gonna get extra lessons."
Your dad looked at T and thought, "Nah, he knows what he's doing. He's fine." Is this how?
Okay, yeah. I like that. Yeah. That's really.
He had extra lessons, bro. You know, remember we used to have double PE.
That's what I'm going best. Leave me alone.
I bet man even reset that.
Oh man, that's funny. That's funny.
His dad said he's failing lessons.
Not submitting coursework to timesheets.
Y'all done? Y'all finished?
Just about.
Oh my God!
That did teach me a lot about money though. I just don't remember that specific one as either. Yeah.
I remember that one clearly, because I remember thinking at the end of my first year, like, overdraft done, like £1,500 done, student loan done.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, bro, where am I going to get money from? And I didn't want to get a job. Well, I wanted to get a job. I couldn't find a job. Tell a lie, because I was just a bit too. Again, it's I think it's the like 18, 19-year-old mentality of like, I think I'm above stuff. I'm like, I'm a student. So when I finish, I'll get a nice job, have a nice life, not realizing that I had to work hard for money then. So I ended up working in hospitality, which, had its ups and downs, but, it's
Fire station.
Fire station. No, I never worked fire station.
Yeah, you did.
When?
Me and him worked for Platinum Recruitment.
Yeah, not fire station, Platinum.
Have you? You know what? All right, cool.
No. My friend worked for fire station. I never worked fire station.
Okay. He used to DJ at fire station. You DJ'd at fire station, didn't you?
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about
He did. That's why I remember.
That was the funniest set.
Okay, back to the topic. The topic is. So, that all being said, is an easy life a better life? And when I say easy, I don't mean like no struggle, because as we kind of agreed, struggle is relative and not really comparative. So there'll always be struggle, but to sort of use the scenario T used with Lupe Fiasco, if you could have a 50K a year job, with a nice 2-bed penthouse or 2-bed flat, no, we'll say 2-bed flat, somewhere close to where you work.
Let's change that. I want to be in a house. I want to be in a 3-bed house.
Okay. Yeah. Fine. 2-bed semi-detached
as well. Are you paying it off or are you renting?
No. It's paid. You paid.
Right, cool. I want a 3-bed house.
You 3-bed, you're paid.
Oh, like look at Dave.
No, man. No.
You have to be in Marbella.
Oh my God. You can have any house of your dreams. How about that? Your dream house. Yeah. But you have lived no life. And when I say no life, you lived life. But what you've done is you started nursery, primary school, secondary school, college, university, job, nothing in between. No traveling, no girlfriends, no exploration of food, no drinking, no smoking, none of the extracurricular stuff. You've done stuff. You've had time.
You've
to
literally
school,
gone textbook, like
textbook. Like I'm talking by the book. If you wrote a film, this is you're the boring character in the film.
Nursery, school, uni, job. Everything paid for. No debt.
You're 30 years old. Yeah.
That's a tough
debt.
question.
You've hit, or you live the life you have now with every struggle included. Which are you taking?
So, and can I just ask really quickly to clarify?
Yeah, go for it.
Does this include hobbies? So, like, Dave didn't do rugby. So, like, Dave didn't do rugby either. Or like I didn't do basketball or music, or you didn't do football. Is that included?
Yeah, none of that.
So you don't do. So no hobbies.